What is going on, my fellow NPL fans and those alike? I am the legendary Seabass, bringing you your new analyst, bringing you all yet another interview. And today I will be interviewing TurboBlaze IV, coach of the Hidden Leaf Village Roserades.
Yo guys, it's Turbo and it's a privilege to be here.
Alright, sweet. So let's just start off with a very simple question. Question 1, what is your name, how old are you, and when did you start playing Pokemon?
Well, I'm Lewis, I'm 17, and I started playing Pokemon towards the just after the release of Ruby and Sapphire. So just missed Gen 1 by a couple of years. Wasn't quite old enough.
Yeah, same. I started out with like Gen 2. I started playing like a very long time ago.
Yeah, I remember because I did it in a weird order. My first Pokemon game that I remember playing was Leaf Green and Fire Red, but my first ever Pokemon game was Ruby. I think I first started appreciating how to play when Fire Red and Leaf Green started to come out though.
Yeah,
it's quite weird. Yeah.
When it came to me like playing, like since I was like the youngest of my siblings, I'd be like, hey, to my older brother, hey, let me play Pokemon Crystal on your Game Boy. He's like, fine, but don't do anything. I just messed up something completely. Like I kill a legendary he was trying to get, and I'd save it.
Oh, that you can't do that. You can't be doing that.
Yeah,
that sucks.
I was 5. Like I didn't know any better.
I did that one thing that everyone does when they're a kid and they play through the game and they beat the game and then they have their team, their legendary first ever run through team, and then they reset the game and then never play it through again the whole time. I did that with my Leaf Green and I regret that to this day.
I've done that before. Like I have all these legendaries, like I'm not sure if I want to restart the game. I'm going to restart the game, and I'm just like, there's no point anymore. So yeah. So moving on to question 2, when did you start playing competitive Pokemon?
I started playing about towards the end of 4th gen, 5th gen, and then 6th gen. I've sort of been playing, I got used to 4th gen. I know the sets and they're actually really fun to use if you chuck them in 6th gen OU, or even just any tier that respect. So if you go to Empoleon and you run the, I think it's Pataya Berry Empoleon set in Smogon UU, it's quite fun. Like the berries are coming back, especially with League format. So it actually looks a lot more like 4th gen. Then it's coming back, like that sort of playstyle's coming back. But obviously, as you go on through the generations, you have to learn the new sort of style anyway. So like continuous weather spam was last generation, and now this generation has become more the Mega Evolution format. And then we don't even know what Sun and Moon's format's going to be, so it's just we have to wait and see.
It's probably be completely different because they're adding like all these new battle mechanics, like adding in like their own free-for-all mechanic now, like their own way of it.
Yeah, I was always a fan of free-for-alls. It's quite a good idea.
Oh yeah, I love free-for-alls. I'm just that guy who just does whatever he wants even though it's not the right decision.
Yeah, true. I once swept a free-for-all with a power-up punch Volbeat. That was one of my favourite things I've ever done.
That's
so it's all good. But yeah.
Alright, question 3. What is your favorite Smogon tier to play?
I don't mind all of, like, it changes as like the suspect testing goes on. So OU, basically everyone likes OU. There's no one who doesn't like OU. It's the most common tier. I'm losing favour of it now because of stall spam and the fact that one of my favourite OU mons, Hooper Unbound, got banned, and that's purely because stall players controlled the Smogon testing. But that's a different issue. We're not going to talk about that. My favourite tier is probably RU, NU. RU I fell back in love with when Amoonguss jumped up, in the same way NU I fell back in love with when Quagsire jumped up. Yeah, so just the loss of stall feels really good.
Yeah, I love tiers like that, especially RU and NU, because they're like such like underrated mons that have like potential, and it's just like a wide variety. Like for instance, Blastoise being my favorite Pokemon back when they didn't do the mega regular Pokemon tier split.
Yeah, true.
Like I would never use regular Blastoise in UU, but now that he's in RU, I use him like all the time now.
He's great in RU. He's a really good physically defensive or especially defensive wall with Rapid Spin. What more can you want? Scald.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with priority, like Aqua Jet, like it's such a good mon.
It's true, and I feel like Machoke I think has just got banned from PU, so I'm going to be laddering in PU soon because Machoke was the worst thing in PU to ever exist, and now PU is going to be so fun. But yeah, I like using fun, funky mons with good sets, and you don't get the same Lando T, Amoonguss, Spore Stall in the set. So when I play OU, I try to play differently as well. It's just all those mons. UU I'm not so much a fan with purely because it's really diluted, but what can you do?
I really like UU because a lot of my favorite mons are in UU, like for instance Mega Blastoise, Haxorus, Doublade. Like those are a lot of like my favorite mons, and I just love using them as like on a team together, because you'll like try getting these mons, and you think that they won't have a lot of synergy together, but then you'll like find a way to like find synergy for them. Like for instance, Blastoise weak to grass, Entei comes in, Entei's weak to ground, like Blastoise comes in because it's neutral, and you just figure out stuff like this, and you're like, oh, Blastoise can tank it, but Entei can't, so I'll just go into Blastoise.
True, true. The one thing that puts me off UU is Crystal, but everyone does Crystal, and even I play Crystal. I just uploaded a video where I've got a Crystal set, so it's just the way you do things, isn't it? Yeah, but that's the only thing that puts me off UU. Otherwise,
I've never
I have
really
to say
had
UU.
problems with Cresselia, just like within my past of playing UU. Like a friend of
Then you
mine,
got,
he'd be like, hey, let's battle, and he'd be using Cresselia, and I'd have like a Doublade, and I just keep using Shadow Sneak to piss him off, and he'd keep using Moonlight, but I just keep Shadow Sneaking to kill him.
Yeah, it's a good. Well, Doublade does beat it 1v1. You're a lucky boy if you've never had trouble with Crest. Everyone will have trouble with Crest. I'm not League format, not so much. Definitely Smogon format. Definitely.
So, question number 4, what is your favorite play style?
Hyper Offense, Volt 10 is my favorite play style. Purely because I love. Well, Volt 10 is my favorite play style. Hyper Offense is what I usually bend my teams towards. I mean, every team's got to have a mix of balance. To some extent, stall, bulk, and Volt 10. But Volt 10 is just good because you don't have to make the ballsy reads, because you can just get initiative from fast and slow Volt switching. If you have a slow Volt switcher and you know you can take a hit, that's your ballsy hard switch, instead of doing the hard switch and it not paying off. Or if it does pay off in the fact that you then get to stay and take a hit that they were predicting you to hard switch and then go into the switch. It just works. I like just having that fast initiative, and it's the best way of picking up momentum, is having that instead of playing stall, when you have to sit there and calculate every single move, and if you do one thing wrong you lose. And also I think that it's the best playstyle because the only way to beat Hyper Offense is Hyper Offense. Stall doesn't beat Hyper Offense, balance doesn't beat Hyper Offense, and then the only thing that can beat Hyper Offense is Hyper Offense, like by pure logic. So that's my reasoning.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, question 5. What is your favorite type of Pokemon to draft?
It's an interesting question. I think in a draft you have to have a set of mons. I think you have to have a ground type, you have to have a fast electric type, and you have to have a fairy and steel type. And then if you have, and a spinner, obviously, that's pretty standard bit, or a spinner / defogger. So once you have those 4 things, you have a varied team. I think, in my opinion, getting someone who has, a fast Volt Switcher is purely because of my playstyle. You get a fast Volt Switcher, I'm happy. But obviously that I think a fast Volt Switcher and then someone who's immune to Earthquake, that's what my favorite thing to draft is.
Probably for me, like when it comes to leagues, I'm like, okay, first I'm gonna get this Rapid Spinner, then a Defogger just in case that doesn't work out, then just get a strong core. Like for instance, probably one of the most broken cores in my opinion is the Skarmory Blissey core, and I've seen it just tank everything, and I've actually seen like people forfeit to it just because they don't want to deal with it.
It's a nasty core. I think in league's a bit different. I think I'm one of those people who doesn't agree with Chansey Blissey being good in leagues. I think that they can be exploited and same with the same field as Cress. I think they can be exploited, but with the right setup. But then in the same sense, in the same sense, Skarmory then fixes that. So I see what you mean. I just purely because my naturally offensive playstyle, I like doing that a bit more. Yeah.
Alright, so question 6. What is your favorite Pokemon in drafting format?
My favorite Pokemon in drafting format is a different question to the best mon in drafting format. I think the best mon in drafting format, without question, is probably Manaphy, but that's a different issue. The best, Manaphy is probably the best. My favorite mon in drafting format is actually Mega Manectric, because
Fast Volt Switcher?
Fast Volt Switcher, as it gives you one thing. Its coverage is very, very, very good. You're not beating its speed tier unless you've got unless you've got Mega Alakazam, I think, and Mega Aerodactyl, the only things that beat its speed tier. It outspeeds Scarfers, it gives you your initiative. Intimidate is such a good ability. If you get a double Intimidate core, Lando T, Mega Man Electric, Double Intimidate Gore, they cover each other's, well, if you get in then a Steel type, then they all cover each other's weaknesses. You've got switching out if you're expecting an Earthquake, you've got all of that shenanigans going on. If you, Mega Man Electric beats so many things 1v1 because of the access to hidden power, so you think Heatran comes in, hidden power's ground, Volcarona, hidden power rock, anything, it's just the first two things that came to my head. I don't know why you counter either of that with that, but you know what I mean. I think Mega Man Electric is probably one of my favorite mons in League format.
Yeah, when it comes to like drafting format, one of my favorite Pokemon that I like drafting is like mainly like a dragon type. Like for instance, Haxorus. He's such a good mon with base 113 attack. Set up like a dragon dance, and he can just tear through your entire team. So that okay, that's my dragon type.
I like Haxorus as well because it's a pure dragon, and pure typings in League format are very, very good. Obviously, you don't want a whole team of pure typings because you won't be able to do that, and you want to get as many type business covered as possible. But it's always good if you have those couple of pure typings because you can limit your weaknesses, especially in their Fairy, Dragon, Steel core. If you get Fairy, Dragon, Steel, that's it. Yeah. That's your core. So Haxorus is my favorite dragon type. It's the best shiny in the game. So what more can you want?
True. Also, I just want to get your opinion on this. A lot of people debatably say that Mega Lopunny is the best Mega for drafting format. What's your opinion on that?
I think Mega Lopunny is one of the best Megas you can draft, but I don't think it is the best Mega you can draft. I don't think, not to say that Mega Man Electric is the best Mega you can draft. I think that Mega Lopunny, alright, its speed tier is amazing, its ability is amazing, and its priority is amazing. But there is ways of countering it, and it's not unbeatable. There's like, I did it for a league I had to do a tournament to get in, right? And I drafted Hitmontop as one of my 6 mons that I'd have to prep against other people, and I came up against a Lopunny against one of the teams I prepped for, and I ran Technician, Fake Out, Muck Punch, and that just beat a Lopunny. Lopunny loses to priority, and priority is something that every team should have if they're good as a draft. And then if you think about the types of priority, there's a Steel type priority in Bullet Punch, there's Fighting type priority in Mac Punch and Vacuum Wave, Brave Bird and Quick Attack, and then Extreme Speed, right?
Yeah.
They're the sort of main priorities. If you have a fighting type, odds are it's getting Monk Punch. Lopunny loses to Monk Punch. There's no question about it. The fighting type will fake the Fake Out. I think there is ways of playing around Lopunny, and I think the fact that although its coverage is very good and its speed is very good, and with the right player, it plays so well, but it's not as good as the broken Mega Metagross or other Megas that you could potentially Mega Latios again, or even I'm a big fan of drafting low tier Megas, getting more points and then getting power in your draft. So it's up to you. If you want to spend points getting a Mega Lopunny, and it might get you to 15-20 kills, it might be worth it, but in my opinion, I get lower tier Mega, get some points and spread it across the board a bit more.
That sounds like a good strategy.
Yeah.
Alright, so what were you saying?
I think it's just like it's just the draft at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. So for question 7, what is your favorite Pokemon generation?
Good question. 4 will be my answer. 4 was the generation that introduced physical special split, which is one of the most revolutionary things that ever happened in a game. The mons that Gen 4 brought in are just like so good. Like whenever you see top 10 best Pokemon, you see top 10 worst Pokemon. The amount of times you see a Gen 4 Pokemon, other than maybe Lumineon, on a top 10 worst Pokemon, you just don't. They just don't come up because that generation was like, in my opinion, the golden age of Pokemon design. Gen 1's okay. Gen 2 didn't add enough Pokemon for me. Gen 3 was good, but then after playing Oras, I just fully appreciate Gen 4 and what it stands for. Love a bit of Gen 4. Gen 5 I actually like in comparison to a lot of people. I like a lot of the mons that came out into Gen 5, and then Gen 6 is just I think it is a bit Gen 2-ish for me, but it's definitely Gen 4. You can't beat Gen 4 for me. The game was even good.
I actually never finished Gen 4. Like I had Pearl.
Go and play it.
Yeah, no, like I'm going to. Spoilers, Platinum Randomizer, come to my channel. So anyways, to continue, I got to like Palkia, and I just never finished it, and mostly because I lost the game, but whatever. For me, it'd be Gen 2, just because it's the first game that I fully finished.
Yeah,
like,
definitely, I see that.
And it's like the #1 game me and my older brother played, like growing up, like just like on like car rides or something like that. We just always have his Game Boy out playing Pokemon Gold.
Yeah, fair.
So it's just the memories for me.
I think Gen 4, you can't diss Gen 4 when the champion has a full mixed OU team.
Oh yeah,
like,
Cynthia's.
Well, UU and Gastron.
vibes.
Like Tank Chomp, Togekiss, Spiritomb, Gastrodon, Roserade, and Lucario is like a solid team. That team is ridiculous. So, no, I think it's Gastrodon changes to Milotic, so that team is stupid. Like, that's a great mixed tier team, so that just shows how good that game was.
Also not remembering Gen 4 as well as like I do, but I remember I love all the Pokemon I came from it. Electivire, Lucario, Mamoswine, Garchomp, like
Weavile.
Yeah,
all of that.
Weavile.
Huge mons.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
generation.
Alright, so question 8. If you can change one thing about Pokemon, what would it be?
I think I would... I don't know if this counts. I'd have a game where you... Oh no, well there's two things, right? If any way possible, implement battles like Pokken. That would be amazing. that's not gonna happen ever. But
Well,
like that, yeah, that would never happen. I think I'd have a game which has all generations in it, and once you finish a generation, you have to box everything, and then you start the next generation. Start the next region. But then, as you unlock the gym lab badges, you then get the, when you like, you can use a mon above this level. You can use a mon above this level. You can use a mon above this level. So then, once you get to that, like, once you do that 8th badge, you can then use all the mons you already stacked from other things, and then it becomes very much like the anime, where you can go back, and when you do the Pokemon League, grab other mons that you've caught from other generations and stuff like that. And then obviously you get a progressive. All of your teams through all 6, now 7 generations would be awesome. Be the best game ever.
That'd be crazy. That'd be a game changer.
Yeah, definitely. I will wait till that for the next 20 years if it takes that long. But I will wait for that game.
Well, I mean, like, Sun and Moon's still in development.
Sun and Moon is looking good. Sun and Moon is looking very, very good. I'm more excited for Sun and Moon than I definitely was for either X or X and Y. Like, it's gonna be so good.
I want to bring up something wild. I was watching the footage of Rockruff and the koala Pokemon. I forget his name.
Yeah. Nekawal.
Yeah, Nekawal. And when they were showing it, you could find wild Arcanites in Sun and Moon.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, Electivires and Arcanine. I was like, what the hell are they doing? This game's gonna be just so good. Like that's wild. Crazy. I can't wait. But back to the issue at hand of me winning the NPL.
Speaking of it, realistically, how well do you think you'll do in the NPL?
Well, I'm a new coach. I followed the NPL last year. I watched Pendragon and I watched a bit of Sheer Force at the end. Towards the end, I picked him up. So I've seen Aki battle a lot of times. I follow his channel. I follow his PMC. I think realistically, I want to hit playoffs. I think I can if I get the right draft. Everything goes reasonably okay for me, and I get a good win as my first round matchup. I'll make playoffs. I'll put it out. Bold prediction right now. If I win my first game, I'll make playoffs. And I think that it's not past me. I'm a confidence battler, so if I get absolutely smacked, I'm gonna be like, my confidence is gonna be on the floor, and it'll take me a couple of games to build it up. But I think a realistic expectation for me is playoffs. I can't wait to battle Aki as well, just as a side note. He's in my division, so it'll be really, really, really cool to battle him. Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. Alright, question 10. What is your favorite aspect of the drafting format?
The fact is just so different. It's like you're watching a sports game. It's like if Pokemon was esports, like literally fuck BGC. If Pokemon was esports, this should be the format it is. Like, it's like watching competitive sports, and that's what's so cool about it. You have analyst channels that are in effect a commentator, and then you have your coach, and you have a squad, and the fact that you can bring in mons that nobody ever uses, or mons that, or like Pachirisu is viable in League format. You can run Volt Switch, Super Fang, and then it's base 100 Spadef. It actually comes in useful. Like, it's crazy. The fact that I just love that you can come up with these stupid, like, Wakan Berry Gyarados with Dragon Lance. Once you get one Dragon Lance up, you win the game. It's so, like, you have to think about everything, and I just love it. That's why I think it's just the fact that it's so different, and it's not stupid like VGC.
Yeah, that's why I like Smogon better than VGC, because when it comes to VGC, you will see the exact same Pokemon every single time. Like, you'll see a Mega Kangaskhan, you'll see a Landorus, you'll see an Aegislash, you'll see like all these same Pokemon on like the same teams, and you're just like, where's the variety? When it comes to League format, or like, hey, you'll draft Dedenne, like Twin,
Yeah,
UCL.
Spoilers, but yeah, yeah, I agree with that. I think VGC is a completely different meta game. And when I play VGC, I play Troll VGC. I bring Cloud9 stuff just to breed the primal and stuff like that. But it's a game that people really enjoy, and you have to respect that people will love VGC and people will love Smogon and people will like draft format. And it's just like there's 3 great ways of playing the game, and you don't even have to pick one. You can do all 3. But in my opinion, draft is the best. It's just the best format you can be. Like, it's just because the variety. You make so many friends through doing it. You can do it with your friends. You can do it casually. It's entertaining to watch, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, for last question in the lightning round, what is a bold prediction you have for the season?
Oh, I made one already, actually. I said that Mega Camerupt will go positive this season. If anyone doesn't know, in the drafting system, if you draft Mega Camerupt, you get plus 100 points. And I've put the prediction out there that Mega Camerupt will go positive this season, and I think he will. He just will.
Wait, give me a second. I find that so funny for some reason. Alright, I got it. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Sure.
Alright. Sun or Moon?
Sun.
Smogon or VGC?
Smogon.
Live com or post com?
Live, but I'll rarely do post.
No.
I'll live, but I rarely do them.
Alright, Showdown or Cartridge?
Showdown because it's quicker.
Fairy or Dragon?
Oh, Dragon.
Of course. Gen 1 or Gen 6?
Gen 1.
And there you go. Alright, with that, I'm going to end off the interview. Turbo, thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this. Good luck to you this season.
Thank you.
And with that, I'm the legendary Seabass, and I'll see you all in the next interview. Peace, guys.